Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Experience Exchange. It's great to see you all. It's our September Experience Exchange. As a reminder, this is our kind of our monthly meeting where we really invite anybody and everybody to come in and join us and really talk about the changes things that are dynamically going on in our program. So welcome, everyone. I know a lot of people like you and me are in starting to talk about budgets for next year, priorities, planning. What are we going to do? How are we going to spend money? How are we going to save money as our bosses want us to do, and really drive the kind of things that we know we need to do when it comes to customer experience and the opportunities. Now, most of the time when we do these experience exchanges, we kind of had a guest speaker or about 20 minutes of content, and then we had about 20 minutes of breakout rooms. However, I heard a lot of people say, and they messaged me and said, "Hey, we're really just getting going in this breakouts when you call us back." So we're going to spend a bigger chunk of time today in the breakout rooms. So we got three rooms that we're going to go through, and some great discussions led by our partners here. And I really look forward to hearing what comes out of those rooms. But a couple of quick announcements before we do that. So as I said, this is the once a month meeting. We have what we call the solution series. Usually that's the first, third, and fourth weeks of the month. And there are three separate groups. They talk about different things. Sometimes they talk about similar things. When it comes to AI, it seems to be a topic, for a lot of us that want to talk about it. But it's really aimed at you. You guys coming in with questions, getting answers, getting recommendations, getting feedback on the ideas or questions that you have. So the solution series is about that, providing you solutions. Starting in October, those have always been open to everyone. Starting in October, we're going to require that if you come to the solution series, you need to be a member of the CX on the Rocks Collective. Doesn't mean it's not a paid membership, it's just a free membership, but we're going to start building it into our community platform where the recording is automated, where the content is right there. You'll be able to register it. So if you're not a member, if you haven't actually signed up to be a member, again, it's no cost to you at this time. Sign up to be a member. You'll get access to that. You'll be able to schedule, be able to see all the videos and recordings of those events, et cetera. So the solution series next month will start, requiring membership. So go to cxontherocks.com, hit the join now button, sign up. One item of note, when you sign up, make sure you also do that. You'll get an email about setting your password. Do it right away, because what does happen if you wait a little while, it times out and then you can't reset your password. And then you usually have to contact me. And I don't want that to be a challenge. So definitely join us for that as we move forward. So exciting, exciting changes, growth. We're seeing increased numbers, so we want to continue to be able to do that as well, and provide these kind of solutions to you and these kind of opportunities to really dig in. The solution series also tend to be a little smaller because it's really, again, about you. So getting together 3, 4, 5 people to really talk about some in-depth challenges or opportunities that you have in your organization as well. So that's a little bit of housekeeping for us today. I'm gonna kick it off by really bringing in one of each for each of the three rooms to introduce the topic, what they're going to talk about in the breakout room, and then we'll move to that. So the first breakout room is going to be led by Brad and his team, and it's about employee experience and onboarding with AI. Really focused. So, Brad, you want to say a few words about your room and the content that you guys will be covering today?
If you think about employee experience and employee experience journey, the interviewing and onboarding process really sets the tone for that entire experience for that employee, and also introduces them to your culture and your frame. And fully automated, digitally animated, near real life looking AI bots are now in market interviewing people. And so the conversation's all about, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Obviously, there's cost savings for the company that implements this, but how does that make our candidates feel about this opportunity that they're interviewing for? And what are some of the downstream consequences that maybe we haven't thought about yet? So that's going to be our topic. That's our goals.
Awesome. And Dave is going to be in the room with you as well, and I'll probably sneak in there after I make sure everybody gets assigned to a room as well. So looking forward to that. So tomorrow is going to be running point on the next breakout room. This is about connecting employee listening to journey transformation. So tomorrow, you want to introduce the topic a little bit for folks?
Sure. It actually aligns a little bit to what Chris was just saying about the, I'm sorry, Brad, about the employee experience. So this is really about how do we take the insights and the information that we know about employees and then leverage that to really enhance how we think about our customer journeys. So, when we're doing the transformations, making sure that our employees are actually enabled, they're prepared, they're ready to execute on the journeys to help heighten the success and the overall execution of the program.
Awesome. And with you is going to be Matt and JP. So they'll be in there with you as well. So look forward to that. And then last but not least, the third is leadership, leading people in the age of AI. So Chris, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yep, we're going to cover three things. What is it? What does a flywheel, an effective momentum building flywheel, look like to successfully deliver on AI? What are the engine and components that make that work? At least what we've seen so far, and we'd love to hear what other people have to say. And then what do you do when you don't have the people to expand and build it and you can't hire them? So is there a way to outsource and bring in the talent to accelerate? So those 3 points.
Awesome. And with you is going to be Skip and Kate. So great to have you guys in that room as well. So again, as everybody's thinking about those three topics, employee experience and onboarding, connecting employee listening to journey transformation, and leading people in the age of AI, these topics are really timely because they come out of things that are happening right now and changes. And so we look forward to digging in and having some great conversation. So I'm going to open up the rooms. It's self-choice. And so what you'll do, you should see a pop-up that comes as soon as I open these, and you should be able to choose. If not, go down to the bottom and go to the breakout rooms tab, or go to more if your window isn't showing the breakout rooms. But look forward to hearing how those conversations go. I'll bring everybody back about 10 minutes till, or maybe 7 or 8 minutes till the end of the session today. And then we can kind of debrief together about kind of the conversations that we had as well. So, all right, opening the rooms right now for you guys. Awesome. Looks like everybody's bouncing back in. So I did notice we ended up with 2 rooms. So I think Dave, Brad, and Allison distributed among themselves, and we only got about 4 minutes left. But we also can stick around for a little bit of bonus time if anybody has that to get a little more time to spend. But I'd like to hear a little more about the dialogue besides AI being sexy. But Chris, maybe that's that's a segue a little bit to say, let's talk a little bit about what you guys talk about in the room, and what kind of insights and questions and so forth came out of that.
We couldn't keep Peter quiet, so let's let him talk now. Get him some more words out.
I apologize if I
I'm kidding.
went past my allotment. No, it was a good discussion. I think just sharing perspectives around what are some of the challenges that have prevented AI from really being adopted, particularly in an enterprise space at scale. Chris mentioned the similarities and kind of an analogy of robotic process automation, and why that's still a topic that most C-suites don't know what it is, let alone organizations fully taking advantage of it. And that's been more than 10 years. So there's some similarities going on around AI. Other fear areas were just leadership and career path, and not being able to be bold enough to say, I'll take this on and go, with the risk of your career. Others around the architecture and access to data, albeit Kate brought up a great point about the contact center world and how that is a confluence of data that has proven out some use cases and some capabilities within AI that are transformative. And I think third was just kind of the data cleanliness, the data access, some of the security risks. Those were kind of some of the elements that were highlighted that have prevented AI, particularly Gen AI, from really gaining huge legs in the enterprise space.
Well documented, Peter.
Yeah, and I know that's that is there's so much to that, right? Because I think everybody's been quoting this MIT study, right? 95% of all AI projects haven't delivered. So it is it's such an interesting space in the leadership around that. So it sounds like it was a great discussion there. Awesome. And anybody want to add a little more flavor to that room and that discussion? All right. Well, let's skip over to tomorrow. Tomorrow we talked about employee listening and the journey transformation. So tell us a little bit about what kind of the dialogue was going on in that room.
Yeah, we ended up pivoting to AI because, of course, I mean, we started, with a good conversation around the EX-CX connection, understanding that in order for real transformation to happen, you really need the engagement of employees. But, we very quickly realized, AI really is going to be, an enabler as well as a challenge in this space. AI that's built, or I should say, that's replacing inefficient processes will just automate inefficient processes, right? And so, if you've got a poor employee experience with, without the correct enabling tools, you're not really fixing anything. You're just making it faster. And so from a revenue perspective, from a gains perspective, you're not really getting much. We just talked about how AI could be supportive. We talked about how, we need to understand like the data that it's sitting on, right? It's only as good as the data on which it sits. It's only as good as, the models that are behind it. So there's a lot of opportunity here and still a lot of, I think, room for growth. Did I miss anything? Brian, Matt, James, JP?
Yes, you too can achieve terrible employee experiences at scale.
That was the key item.
Well put,
Faster
James.
and worse.
I think what James is hitting on here is like the risk of a vicious cycle, that when you apply AI, it's not only that you may not get all the benefits, like Tamar was saying, but you could actually make things worse because you erode the energy of your people, you erode their leadership development, you erode their learning of new skills. Another way we were joking around is if it used to take 10 hours to learn something, what happens if AI makes it 20 minutes? No one learns anything.
Yeah.
You lose mastery.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mastery, good word.
And I think it's interesting as we, again, to your point, everything tends to slide towards AI, right? All the conversations, because it is impacting us at probably at the largest expansive scale of anything that can, because it's touching everything that we're doing. And I saw the article earlier this week about, I think the Zoom CEO came down and said, hey, the 3 to maybe 4 day work week is right around the corner. There's a couple of key people that have said that. I don't know that I trust that organizations would do that for their employees. I think they're going to expect them to do more work. So I see JP, you shaking your head there, but that's another kind of piece.
Well,
of
it's
that,
a
so.
huge juxtaposition to what's going on culturally right now with the whole 669 movement.
Yes.
Or 996 movement. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, okay, maybe you can get away with working only 3 or 4 days a week, but we're not going to let you do that. We're going to make you work 6 days a week.
Well, and that's the whole point. I mean, at this conference, you've got a lot of Zoom people here talking about that very thing. And the real question is, okay, if we've gotten these gains in productivity, why haven't, in terms of time, getting time savings, why haven't we got these exponential gains in real productivity? In other words, if all these tools are doing such great things, we shouldn't have to do much at all. And we know that's not the case. So it's a bit of a misnomer.
Jeffrey Katzenberg, the definite people first executive, and I say that sarcastically, he had a sign on his office wall, and this is a true story, that said, if you don't show up for work on Saturday, don't bother to show up on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think there may be some companies that take that opportunity and create a better work environment, but I don't think I think they're going to be the rarity, not the norm. So, but anyway, so I know we're over on time. Thanks for sticking around for a few extra minutes. Just as a reminder, we've got a couple of events coming up over the next couple of weeks. The Solution Series is next. We are having our session, and it is at 11 o'clock Eastern next Thursday, the 25th. And the following week is going to be on Tuesday, the 30th, also at 11 o'clock Eastern time. So hopefully you'll be able to join one of those. These are the last ones that'll be open. Reminder, the rest will be scheduled through our platform. So become a member, join us, and look forward to seeing you at those upcoming events. So thank you, everybody, for the great feedback today and great conversation. And I hope you got a lot out of it, and look forward to seeing you at the next events.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye.